today I'm gonna reveal my entire $64,000 stock portfolio to you, and I really hope you're ready for it. Because in the last 3 months or so, I started experimenting a little bit more with my investments, and I changed a little bit of my strategy. As you may know, if you follow the channel already, I was investing most of my income into dividend paying stocks. But for multiple reasons, I actually believe that dividend is an amazing investment that you can make, and if you want to invest your money over the long term, let's say 20 years, dividends are an amazing thing to do because you're going to see an exponential growth in your portfolio with compound interest. Now, okay, this is still true, but I changed my strategy from dividend to other type of investments. I still believe that dividends are an amazing investment that you can make, but what I did in the last 3 months is that I switched my strategy around to something a little bit more straightforward and something a little bit more risk involved. But of course, with higher risk comes higher reward. And in one of my newest videos called What Andre Jake Doesn't Tell You About Dividends, I was actually speaking about why dividends might not be something that you want to invest in. Because I believe that if you are younger, you can take a little bit more risk when you're starting out, and that's completely fine to do so. But when you're older and you want to retire, maybe dividend is a better strategy. So as I said before, today I'm going to show you every single investment that I have in my portfolio right now, and overall I will reveal my entire $64,000 stock portfolio to you. So let me quickly start by speaking about the numbers. The total amount of money that I invested into this account is $53,815.03, and at the time of recording this video, it's worth about $63,993. So I made a little bit over $10,000 by investing my money. That's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. But currently in this portfolio, I have about 12 companies that I'm investing in. Some have a really small amount of money into them, and some have pretty big amounts. So today, I'm gonna show you everything that's inside my portfolio, starting from the smallest one to the biggest one, so make sure that you stay until the end if you want to see my biggest investments. And as you're gonna see in my portfolio, you got speculative assets, some more small caps companies, and on the other hand, you get some pretty established businesses, really safe companies, so you have everything that you want to find in my portfolio. And let's start, I guess, with the first one, which actually is my smallest investment, that is NIO. If you follow what happened in the market in the last month or so, we actually saw a lot of red days, and some companies went down quite a bit. It was the case of NIO, which dropped more than 30% in 2 weeks, so I was like, okay, it's a great opportunity right now. Why not opening a position on NIO, which is what I did. I just couldn't resist the fact that it was so cheap compared to where it was before. Now, I wanted to own this company for a really long time because of a few things. First of all, I really believe that NIO in the long term is a growing company and something that's interesting to buy right now. But I figured that when it was around $60, it was too much for what NIO actually is. But if you have no idea about what NIO does, well, it's an electric car company. I know, another one. So of course they make electric cars, but they are specialized in China, which is a huge market in the world. They have more than 1 billion people living there, and what the government right now is doing is that they are pushing people, and they're actually implementing a system in which they are forcing people to have electric cars by, I think, 2030. So for the next 9 years, the China's government is going to push people to buy only electric car vehicles. And NIO, being a Chinese company, they are being pushed by the government financially and non-financially to actually make these vehicles and sell them to people. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, because the fact that the government is pushing NIO to be on top of everything else, well, they are investing a lot of money into NIO themselves. Now, if NIO didn't have the support of the government, maybe they will not be where they are right now. It's actually 100% sure they will not be where they are right now. So it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. But I really believe that with the implementation of electric car in China, NIO has a lot of upsides ahead. That's why I invested into them, and I have 12 shares of NIO. Let's continue our way up with the second smallest investment in this portfolio, which is Redfin. And a lot of people actually don't know what Redfin is, so let me quickly explain you what it is. Redfin is an online real estate service, which is providing a space for people that want to sell houses to list them on Redfin. And on the other hand, they have all the buyers that are going through this list and picking homes in which they want to live. And the way they actually make money is by taking a small commission out of every house that they sell from the Redfin platform. Now, why did I invest into Redfin? Well, in my opinion, they have a lot of upsides ahead, because right now their revenues for the last quarter was less than $1 billion, when I believe that this company is worth so much more and have so much more space to grow. And I also believe that their business and what they are doing is something that is sustainable and that will also grow in the future. They will get more people that are listing homes and more people that want to buy homes from Redfin. So that's why I have 13 shares of them, which is a small amount, but that's still better than what I have with NIO. Going to number 3 on this list with Palantir, and a lot of you guys might have heard of Palantir before because it's a stock that a lot of people were speaking about, and also I think it was trading for a little bit on Wall Street Bets. Now, what Palantir has to offer is pretty interesting. They have an online security data service pretty much. What they do is that they secure servers, datas, and everything that you can store online, documents and all that stuff. But what makes them different from other companies that are doing the exact same thing? Well, they are specialized for companies and governments. So they need to have a security that is really good in order for them to get clients from big companies, and also governments, it's even bigger. But what's interesting about them is that they are being used at the moment by the United States government and its military. So you can really understand that what Palantir offers as a service is really valuable and really safe, because these governments and the military are both using them. Now, I invested into Palantir because of the security they offer, which is pretty awesome, but on the other hand, I really believe that in the future they will continue to expand to either other governments or even other companies, because yes, they also work with companies. So I have no fear in investing into Palantir, and I have 80 shares, which makes it my third smallest investment. But right now we will start to get into some of the bigger ones. For example, number 4 on this list, which is Apple. You guys all know what Apple is. I don't really have to do a speech of that, but quickly to speak a little bit about them, they make technologies, iPhones, iPads, iMacs, you know it. So everybody knows Apple. Why did I invest into them? Well, there are a few things that in my opinion makes Apple an amazing investment. First thing is that they are a big leader when it comes to the tech sector, and the tech sector, as we know, is a growing sector that's growing actually really fast. So being a leader into that, perfect. Also, on the other hand, it's a big company that can't fail in my opinion, because I believe that Apple is worth more than $2 trillion. At least they were a few weeks ago. I don't know if it's still the case, but they were worth a bit more than $2 trillion, which is absolutely insane to think about. So I really believe that Apple can't fail now. So it makes it a really safe investment. And also on the other hand, they also pay a little dividend, which is a little bit more than 0.7%, I believe. So that's a little bonus over the fact that they grow a lot. Thinking about growing a lot, I actually believe that in the future, Apple is still going to be a leader when it comes to technology, and they're gonna grow as quick as they're doing right now in the future. So that's why I invested into them. I still believe in the future of Apple, and I still believe it's a great company to own. Every single time we saw their earnings, well, they smashed it every single time, and their stock price is still not increasing that fast. So I really believe that Apple over the long term, amazing investment. You guys should all have some Apple in your portfolio, which is why I have 28 shares of Apple. Now, number 5 on my list, and it's General Motors. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but General Motors is one of my middle-sized investments. So what the hell do they do? It's actually a pretty known company, but not a lot of people actually hear about them a lot because they are pretty silent and not really recognizable when you see a car. So they design and sell trucks, crossovers, cars, and even they create automobile parts that they send worldwide. So they are really a big leader when it comes to the automobile sector. So why did I buy into General Motors? Well, as I said before, it's a safe investment and a pretty reliable one because they are one of the leader of automobile sector. And even if we are seeing right now a transition to electric vehicles, well, General Motors is also doing this transition themselves, which is why I believe that in the future they have even more potential because they are starting to be interested into electric vehicles too. And when it comes to the size of it, you guys want to visualize this thing. Last earnings, they made $140 billion of revenue. So I don't know if you understand how big this is. And the stock price is like $57. So I really believe that at the same time, it's a huge company, a really safe one that will continue to grow in the future. But at the same time, I almost feel like it's undervalued with the valuation they have right now, which is why I invested into them, and I have 60 shares of GM. We are halfway through the list, and we're gonna speak right now about Coors Holdings 6. And you might be like, the hell is he speaking about? And this one is pretty interesting actually, because that's the first kind of small cap company that we're gonna speak about today. So this stock is interesting because it's planning to merge with another company called Matterport. And I really believe that Matterport is a really valuable company, and the fact that they're merging together makes it a good deal. So what does Matterport do that makes them such a good buy? Well, they have a few things. First of all, they own a technology of a camera that can scan into a house and make a 3D model out of it. Now, this is cool and all, but a few years ago that was amazing. Right now you can do it with your phone if you actually want to. So this technology kind of is getting a little bit outdated right now, but even the cameras are doing an amazing quality if you compare it to a phone. Of course, it's way better. But right now, if you can do it with your phone, is it really valuable? Well, yes, it is, but also the biggest thing about their business is that when you scan a 3D model of a house, let's say you are a real estate agent and you scan the inside of a house, then you can make people visit the house without even going there. So that makes it way easier for you. You save a lot of time and a lot of money with like going with your vehicles and all that stuff. So overall, you save a lot of money by using them, and you save time for other people. But what's even better is that when people are listing 3D models of houses onto a website, they have to pay a subscription to Matterport. So every single month, they're gonna pay a little amount because they have their house that is listed, their 3D model is listed onto a website. So Matterport gets passive income pretty much from people using their services. And the fact that it's such a small company right now that is merging with another one so that it can go public, I really believe that if you invest right now into Matterport and actually Gores Holding 6, which is the real name of the merger, well, it's a really interesting deal. It's a small company that can grow a lot and a lot in the future. That's why I invested into them. And I have 290 shares of them, which starts to be pretty good amounts. Let's continue with some more small cap companies with Shift Technologies. Shift Technologies is not really a small cap company, but I still believe it's a smaller company compared to all the other investments I have. That's why I consider it small cap. But what they do is really interesting. I actually believe this stock kind of is one of these work from home stocks, even though it's not really work from home, but I'm going to explain everything right now. So first of all, their services are growing a lot because it's online, and everything that's online is growing a lot. Now, what they do exactly, which makes them interesting, is that they make the process so much easier and accessible to anyone. So it makes the process so much easier and faster than regular services like these. And at the moment, I really believe that Shift Technologies is an undervalued stock that will grow a lot in the future. I actually got this recommendation from watching Meet Kevin's, and he's also really bullish on this company, which is also a good thing, right? And I have about 530 shares of Shift Technologies, which is also a lot of money. Number 8 on this list, and that's Enphase Energy. Yeah, as the name suggests, you probably guessed it already, they sell flowers. I'm kidding, they're all about energies, and actually specifically green energies, which in my opinion is one of the most important aspects when it comes to investing into energy right now. If you want to invest into renewable energies, that's good. If you want to invest into oil and all that stuff, maybe reconsider it, even though I don't think it's going to go away immediately. It will slowly go away in the future. So what do they exactly do? Well, they provide solar panels, batteries, and a way for you to easily manage your energy of your house. They're also manufacturers when it comes to all the parts that you need to create solar panels, and a lot of other companies are actually using them as a way to get the parts to create solar panels. And that's also a big thing in their business. Now, the company is already pretty big, but I actually believe that in the future, with the transition we're seeing to green energies, solar panels, and all that stuff, that they are going to grow even more with more partnerships and a lot more recognition into the green energy space. That's why I have 30 shares of Enphase Energy. Number 9 on this list, we're starting to go to the big boys in my portfolio, and that's EXPI World Holdings. And yes, it's another real estate related stocks. I know we have quite a bit of them in this video. Most of the time I have real estate investments is because I followed some advice from Meet Kevin that invests a lot into real estate because he's a real estate agent himself. Now, how does their business actually work? Well, EXPI is a pretty interesting one because if you don't know how a real estate actually works, if you want to be a real estate agent, you're gonna have to be part of a real estate agency. And what the agency actually does is that they give you sort of a popularity or a name behind you that people can trust. And when you use an agency, you are way more likely to get sales, and it makes it professional. But now people don't like to be into agencies because most of the time these agencies take a huge cut out of your profits so that they actually make profit too. And what EXPI does is that they do the same thing as an agency, except it's only online. There is no physical space and there is no Yeah, there's no physical agency, it's just online. So they will also take a commission out of your money that you're making as a real estate agent, but it's gonna be such a small part that really there is no interest into going to a physical agency anymore. So a lot of real estate agents actually switching from physical agencies to EXPI, and EXPI is starting to grow quite a bit right now, and they will continue to grow in the future because of their business. So the first time I bought EXPI, they were worth about $21. Right now they're worth $110, which is a big difference already. Now, about 2 weeks ago, they were worth $160. So right now, I still believe in this company long term. That's why I have a lot of money into them. In my opinion, it's a long-term hold, and I have 104 shares of EXPI. Now let's go into the top 3 stocks in my portfolio, the 3 biggest stocks that I own at the moment, starting with Churchill Capital. You probably heard a lot about Churchill Capital in the past, and actually in the recent past, because there was a lot of hype around it. They were supposed to merge with a company called Lucid Motors that is creating electric vehicles, that are actually not yet creating electric vehicles. They are planning to start pretty soon. So there's a lot of hype between these two companies merging together, and the stock price actually exploded quite a bit. But now it's done, the merger actually happened, everything got confirmed. By the moment, they're still not selling electric cars and nothing is ready yet, which makes it my riskiest investment yet. And that's something that you guys need to understand. This is my 3rd biggest holding in my portfolio, but at the same time, it's one of the riskiest stocks, if not the most riskiest stock that I have in my portfolio. So this may not be the greatest move ever, we're gonna see in the future, I guess, but I'm really planning on holding them really long term so that they can start selling cars and grow their business a lot. So I have a really long-term position on them with 204 shares. Second on the list, you guys already know it, I spoke about it on the channel already, it's Beyond Meat. The last time I spoke about this on the channel was in the video where I spoke about how I earned $2,000 in just an hour, speaking about the partnerships they announced with PepsiCo and Taco Bell. Well, if you don't know anything about Beyond Meat, they are a leader when it comes to plant-based food. So they make plant-based burgers, plant-based meat, plant-based everything that you want to eat, plant-based. And I really believe in the long-term success of their business, because right now we are seeing a transition from people eating meat to people that still want to eat meat, but not really meat because it's not good for the environment, it's not that good for health too. So I really believe that Beyond Meat, with the business they offer and the fact that they are already a leader in this space, can grow a lot in the future with all the things that they provide. They already announced partnerships with Pepsi for the snacks, with Taco Bell, and recently with McDonald's, which makes it even more interesting to invest into this stock in my opinion. A strong hold for me, we're gonna see each other in 20 years with this one, and I have about 50 shares of Beyond Meat. And the biggest one, the top one in this portfolio, is actually Tesla. And that's kind of an unexpected thing because in my opinion, I didn't really invest much into Tesla from what I remember, but I guess I did invest a lot into Tesla because that's the biggest holding. So I guess everybody here knows what Tesla is. They are the leader when it comes to electric cars in the world at the moment. Now, they have a lot of new competition that's arriving, and I still believe in their business and they're gonna grow a lot in the future. If you don't know, they're actually managed by Elon Musk, which makes it so much better, but they are the biggest electric car player in the world. Now, what I like about Tesla is their long-term view on electric cars. They don't want to be the leader of electric cars for the whole world. They just want to start a movement from people buying regular cars to electric vehicles. But at the moment, it's working so well for them that it's a huge company. They're releasing new cars pretty much every year, and they are starting to have cars that are going lower and lower in prices every time. For example, they're planning to have a car that's $25,000, which makes it more affordable and even closer to regular cars. Now, they had a huge drop in the last 2 weeks with the rest of the market, but especially Tesla that dropped like almost 25% or even more, I believe. So I took this opportunity and bought a lot of Tesla. Maybe a little bit too much. We're gonna see in the future what it does. Because yes, I have 27 shares of Tesla in my portfolio, which makes it my biggest investment. Now, what do you think about all these companies? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys want to learn how to start investing yourself or you want to make more money, go and check out one of these 2 videos right here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this portfolio reveal. I did enjoy it, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye bye.